Breaking news, buy a house, get a visa to live and work in America. You heard that right. Senators Chuck Schumer, liberal New York Democrat, and Mike Lee, a Tea Party Republican from Utah, actually joining forces, sponsoring a bill that would give visas to foreigners who spent at least $500,000 to buy a house, claiming this would help the housing market and spur foreign investments at the same time. We're joined by our panel, Tom Belesis, David Webb, Tobin Smith, and Malia Lazu. Good to see you all. Thanks for coming in. Tom, good idea or bad idea?
It's a bad idea. I think if this is another idiotic idea put forth from politicians who want to micromanage the economy. I mean, David, you have to ask yourself, you know, in what areas are they going to buy a house? Are they going to buy it in an area where it needs help the most, or are they going to buy it in an area of real estate where it doesn't need it? You know, you have to ask, are the foreigners going to buy homes less than $500,000? I think this is just another part of the administration in where you're sticking their nose in
micromanagement.
Micromanagement all the way.
David?
Dead on. It's another half measure by these politicians who won't tackle the real problem. Look, people buy, and even if you talk about the rise in purchases, they buy in America because of the deal and the country, the house and country. I just saw this in Israel. They've got a huge boom. They've got 4% growth. But even over there, they're concerned that people are coming to America. They're going to buy here anyway. Why are politicians micromanaging this and not touching Fannie and Freddie?
Malia, what do you think?
Well, I have to say I agree, probably for different reasons, but, you know, I think offering visas up at $500,000 is a far, far cry from welcoming huddled masses yearning to breathe free. And I think that if Americans could get jobs, then we could buy our own houses.
It's putting America on sale, essentially, isn't it, Toby?
Well, David, it's not.
If you look at,
all right, but look at again. Let's look at the actual empirical data over the last 20 years. What country has done this successfully? It's been Canada. Canada, in 1992, 93, came up with the idea that wow, we have people from, for instance, China who have excess capital and that would like to get out of communist China issues when they return over to Hong Kong. They open up a $500,000 for a home, $1 million for a business. What happened? The city of Vancouver and all of British Columbia has boomed ever since, number one. Number two, the real estate values, which were at below Canadian values, have certainly gone higher. And number three, from a business standpoint, they have attracted entrepreneurs. Remember, 40% of the companies in the United States that have gone IPO, initial public offering, are from immigrants in the United States.
But there's a difference there because Canada was in a growth stage at that time. Those cities needed to grow.
No, they weren't. Not in the 90s.
We have resale in this country right now. The last report's down. Rather, resale of homes gone down again. Average home in the United States, $165K. Those are the ones we need moving. Those are the ones.
But Tom, we need all movement in the housing market. And if, in fact, this does help to move the housing market, why is it still a bad idea?
Let me tell you, I think these are all great points. But let's look at the track record from this administration. Cash for clunkers, tax credits for first-time buyers. What has that done for the economy? Nothing. It's done nothing.
By the way, they don't get a work visa with this. They get to buy the house, come here, and they don't participate in the economy.
Oh, that's not true at all.
I think that you don't have to look any further than Obama's own hometown, Hawaii, where I'm also from, where we had quite a boom with Japanese, you know, rich folks coming in and buying land, and it did not help Americans at all. And I think that it is critical that we keep our eyes on the prize
with all due respect,
with giving Americans jobs so that Americans can buy American
Malia, Hawaii
homes.
is not an analog for the United States. Hawaii is a very, very small populated, very, you know, I mean, it's economy.
But has it worked here before? Have we ever tried it here before? Was it only that Canadian example?
David, we haven't, but what we have done, we used to do with H-1B visas, we used to have a thing where if there was $250,000 of money invested in a business, and it was very successful. I mean, again, I'm just taking from a recovering economist standpoint here. I have seen this not only work there, it's also worked in Singapore. Expand your minds a little bit here. It's been a very effective way to bring capital.
David, as I mentioned at the top, Mike Lee, who was a Tea Party Republican, has signed on to this idea. Is this going to split the Tea Party folks?
Because he's smart.
No, I think Mike Lee's just playing politics, and this is what politicians do. When they don't go after the real solution, they come up with a temporary fix. This is cash for clunkers, hemp.
David, it's not cash for clunkers. It's not a $30,000 car. It's a $500,000
But it's the same principle. You buy more cars than houses. How many $500,000 about
You're bringing
houses
new people
are gonna
over who
move.
didn't live here before, David. The cash for clunkers is
but
taking
they-
people already here. We're bringing
You're
new
bringing a
immigrants who
certain-
not only bring money, they bring vitality, businesses,
Look at the
families.
Buddha on the right here.
We
Look,
need
look
a
at this guy here.
comprehensive
Tom
immigration
Belesis is the
bill
Buddha
on
here, just
bringing-
meditating. Go ahead, Tom.
Listen, I think, it's an idea that the government wants to put forth because they need ideas. They don't have any.
Well, we should
They
have
want-
no ideas.
No, ideas are great, but you have to put ideas that are going to help the economy. Now, having immigrants come to this country to bring value, that's a
Moving
great
the
idea.
housing market is helpful,
All
isn't it?
immigrants
It
should
definitely
be
is,
welcome
but
in
get
this
it moving
country,
enough.
not
It's going to
just
cost the
real
government more
immigrants.
money, David.
Malia,
Not
I
just
think,
immigrants
Malia, I
that-
think you and I have the point. We're more in agreement than disagreement on this. I don't like the idea of selling U.S. visas, of selling U.S. citizens. This is short of U.S. citizenship, but it's that idea sort of rubs me the wrong way.
I think we do agree.
Yeah.
No, but at the other
Doesn't
hand,
that bother you at all, Toby, the fact that we're selling citizenship or selling visas?
geez, I don't live in a world where I get to make these moral judgments that someone is less or more qualified because they have the financial capacity to come in and start a business as well as a house. And great. So mazel tov to you. But I will tell you, from an economic standpoint, from where it's worked in other countries, we got to wake up here in the United States. And I think this idea that we have to have a perfect idea that there's no good smaller ideas.
Hey, look,
we're never going to anything done.
You get a Tea Party
Americans can
guy,
fix
you get
the
Chuck
American
Schumer working
economy.
together on something. That's some kind of progress. Anyway, well, they keep saying no, no, no to Herman Cain's 999. So why is Rick Perry all but copying him? We'll talk about that coming next. Rick Perry taking Herman Cain's 999 tax proposal a step further, calling for a Steve Forbes flat tax. What it has in common with Cain's plan is that it also scraps our current tax code. And Perry's flat tax is something Steve Forbes has pushed since the 1990s. What Forbes called for was a 17% flat rate on income above $37,000. Details of Perry's plan are coming out soon, but is this an idea whose time has finally arrived? Malia, what do you think?
I don't think it helped Forbes, and I don't know if it's going to help any Republican candidate with their campaign. It's not going to raise enough money. You're going to have to make serious cuts. It's just not a realistic view.
Tom, could this turn Perry's campaign around?
I think it will. I mean, the tax code definitely right now is a major issue in our economy. We have to solve it. And, knowing about a pure flat tax as a solution, I don't know much about it to tell you that it is.
Well, what do you need to know except the fact that all rates of all income above $37,000 would be at 17%?
Absolutely, and that's going to help the economy big time.
By the way, you are a Perry supporter, right?
I am, very much so.
So you get a horse in this race. What do you think, David?
I'm a fan of the fair tax #1 over this, which is a little different from the flat tax because it has a prebate structure. Perry needs to get
So
back.
you like Cain's 999?
I like the fair tax because I like the principle.
But do you like Cain's 999?
I like parts of it. I think there's parts of it that he needs to detail better. And
Will this Trump 999?
No.
won't.
Perry
Toby,
needs
what do
to
you
get
think?
into
I guess I'm the
conversation.
international guy. Again, if you look at countries that never had any tax raising, like Russia, Estonia, other places, when they put a flat tax in, all of a sudden taxes got collected. If they put a flat tax in Greece, for instance, even in Greece, Tom, I'm telling you that you would actually, have a fair number. And remember,
Wait, hold on a second. You're in favor of the VAT tax, a value-added tax?
no, I'm in favor of a flat tax, but that's what Estonia did. That's what Russia did.
Most of Europe has a value-added tax.
Right, but these countries did flat tax, and what happened was they actually collected the taxes that they never got.
Right, because more people participate, more people pay.
Malia, the president's own committee, the Simpson-Bowles committee, suggested moving towards a flat tax, getting rid of all these special deals and bringing the rates down. This is the president's own commission.
There's many different views on the President's Commission. I mean, I think we really have to move our discussion on taxes, and the President has talked about the Buffett tax, and I think a flat tax is really moving us in the wrong direction. There is nothing wrong with giving to your government so your government can function, and I think looking towards a flat tax and looking to eliminate the inheritance tax and eliminate the capital gains tax is going to...
laughing at your remark that this government is
They
functional.
can laugh at me. They can laugh at me, and I'm sorry that they think that the state of poor people and working class Americans in this country is laughable.
I think
because
what
that
they
is
were laughing
offensive.
at, Malia,
At the
was
end
your
of the day,
suggestion that this government is functional. I don't think many people think it is.
You know what?
Well,
Malia's not
I
talking
think this
about.
country
There's
is
a
great,
difference
and I'm
between
sorry that you
revenues.
don't.
Okay,
And
hold on
I
a second.
think
Go ahead.
that, and I think that there is a serious.
Malia, hang on a second.
If you guys are going to laugh
There's
at me, at least let me get my point across.
And just taxing people and trying to tax sectors.
At the end of the day,
that's class warfare.
All right, last word quickly, Malia. Put a button on it. Go ahead.
And working class people, and there is nothing wrong with making sure we collect enough revenue so we can continue
but Malia
to
needs
do
to learn
that.
the difference
And
between
I'm
revenue
sorry
and
that you think that's
because she's
laughable.
there all
I
alone,
think that's
guys. Coming up
insulting.
next, liberals beating up on Herman Cain because of his success. But isn't Cain exactly the kind of success story we want our kids to follow? The final score is coming next.